Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high level best of 5 of StarCraft 2 action. Today in the top right spawning as our blue Terran player playing for the Shopify Rebellion, it is of course ByuN. And in the bottom left as our red Zerg player playing for Team Guangdong Freaks, I think. It's going to be soO. Always struggle with remembering all the teams of a lot of the Koreans. Honestly, also of the foreigners. Seems like everyone's been switching a lot of teams as of the past year and a half or so. I do believe that soO is part of those Guangdong Freaks. ByuN opening up with a low ground barracks, and this is something that we have seen Maru do a lot as well. Most notably, I think in, I want to say GSL Finals he did it, and he's also played it in DreamHack Atlanta a fair bunch, where he'll open up with a kind of a double barracks, triple Reaper opener, try and deal a little bit of damage, follow it up with some type of 2-1-1. Ooh, this is very different though. This is indeed very different. This instead is going to be a low ground barracks straight into a Marine, and I'm not so sure what the actual follow-up is going to be. Is this a fast factory? Are we going to see something like a triple Marine opener here? Feels like this is just going to be a faster factory now. Second Marine coming out. This is just a standard hatch first that is coming out of soO. Now soO is a player that has struggled a little bit since his comeback. He's shown some good games, but not really the same form that he was before he went to the military. Still has solid mechanics, especially struggles in the, I want to say, the ZVZ and the ZVP matchup. In Zerg versus Terran, a little bit better. You know, those mechanics matter a lot there. He seems to have a good understanding still of what to do, but kind of has lost his juju in the other two matchups. Of course, still a player that we need to kind of keep in mind when it comes to the top Korean Zerg players. Dark, Rogue, well, Rogue in the military right now, Solar, Ragnarok, I want to say, all kind of ahead of soO right now, but soO definitely up there still too. Definitely up there. This Queen is just throwing down their creep tumors. We have a triple Marine move out into a relatively quick factory with a delayed reactor. So we will see slightly less Hellions because this reactor is slower. We're not going to see straight pumping out these reactored Hellions. That it might just end up going into... ooh, no, never mind. He's actually going to swap these. For a second I thought we might see something like a 7 Marine drop with a 3 Hellion run by into a BC. Also a build that Maru has been very fond of. Although it has been a bit longer ago that we've seen him play that actively. Nowadays Maru seems to be a little bit more... a little different when it comes to that. For a while he was playing a lot of those 7 Marine openers with that medevac drop, just taking out a couple of these medevacs, Hellions running around trying to deal damage, and then kind of introducing a third threat in the form of a BC, maybe even of a Banshee. This is indeed going to be a medevac here coming out of the starport, which was built at the front, by the way, an odd decision that you don't see that often. This is not a full wall either, still needs to have one more depot in the wall to consider this a full wall, and there will be an armory. Now this is a very common follow-up from this specific opener, and I'd be surprised to see just straight up fall for it. There's 3 more Queens on the way, that's going to bring the total up to 7. There's only 5 cars going to be out, maybe with 2 more building. Are you even going to get a 7 Hellbat attack, or is this just going to be a straight up 5 Hellbat attack with 6, maybe 7 Marines? Yeah, it's just gonna, this is going to be it. This is absolutely just going to be it. We'll see 6 Marines pop in through the right side. At the same time, we'll see those 7 Hellions probably move in towards a natural and then morph into Hellbats from there on out. Follow-up is going to be Banshees, but a massive supply block here for ByuN. As he got supply block there for a little bit at least, and now I think he's going to walk into another supply block. As you can see, 69 out of 70. Okay, Medevackers just went to the front instead. The Hellbats and Marines are now moving in, and honestly not all that much ready here for soO. A little bit of damage already being dealt on that medevac. Not the greatest control out of soO. This medevac was extremely vulnerable, but instead the Queens are just hitting these Hellbats and the Marines. A pretty decent error here, because the main thing keeping a push like this alive is going to be that medevac. We see ByuN quickly moving over to the ramp. Will allow him to perhaps deal some damage in the main base here. Makes it difficult for Lynx to do anything as well. At the same time, 2 Hellbats moving in towards the third, where there's a lot of drones available for roasting. Lynx will not quite be able, well, actually will be capable of cleaning this up eventually. Will lose a couple of Lynx, but not the end of the world. Medevac has gone down. All of the Marines have fallen as well, and it feels like this is just going to be a straight up fold here for soO. 56 workers still alive. No banelings were required. First Banshee is out and is over here, but spores have already finished as well. So honestly, soO completely prepared for everything. Prepared for the early push, prepared for the follow-up Banshee, and now all he really needs to do is just throw down a 4th base, maybe even get a 5th pretty quickly after. I mean, yeah, you're going to be struggling with some of the money if your worker count has been this high the entire time. We have creep being spread actively as well. 11 tumors going down at once. Look at this. There's so many queens available right now. I heard the Banshees go in this. Yep, there we go. One Banshee's just going to straight up fall. Second Banshee is going to take a big bunch of damage. Oi, 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 oi. That is actually quite painful. Not quite painful. It's extremely painful even. This Banshee is now just kind of idling near the main base. I would love to see that being used a bit more actively. 66 drones are out already. We have a fort. Rather than building the 5th, soO decided to build a hatchery in the main base. I think building it at the 5th here would have still been a responsible choice. Second Banshee did go down as well. I think it died somewhere over here. Didn't quite catch it. 17 tumors being popped out at the same time, which means that creep is going to start exploding pretty soon. Look at that. This creep spread is really kicking into overdrive at this point. Gonna have so much creep out on this map before the first push out of ByuN is gonna come out. There's currently only 7 Marines. First 2 medevacs are on the way. soO is at 77 workers. I mean, this game is practically over. And that's what happens when you fill a Hellbat attack. We see these Hellbat attacks so often just do absolutely nothing. Zergs defend them well. They get extremely far ahead. The creep threat reaches to the opponent's 3rd base. And the drone count is basically set until the very end game. Like, it is absolutely insane. Maybe the execution out of ByuN was a little bit lacking, but it just feels like these builds sometimes aren't that great. So many Hellbat others just kind of fall flat. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with this follow-up push, but I see plenty of banelings here. I see baneling speed done as well. See 1-1 on the way. There's no combat yet here. There's simply no combat yet for ByuN. This single tank is not going to be good enough. Queens can just tank these shots. Well, why are we not taking out that tank for free? Surely there was a free kill there, soO, but soO's just gonna let it stay. Says he doesn't care about it. First 2 Hydras are on the way as well. We have the Groove Spines. We have the Infestation Pit. I mean, this is so painful to watch. This is so painful to watch. Combat Shield halfway done. Infestation Pit 25%. This is not something that you want to see in the production tab if you're a Terran. But then again, if you are seeing the production tab as a Terran while you're playing, you're a hacker. So that's also not allowed, you know. 2 wrongs don't make a right. 2 wrongs make 2 wrongs. 2 sad people. 5th base is being set up here, and I'm just not seeing any opportunity for ByuN to get back into the game. The one opportunity, or the one possibility he has, is that, yeah, he's just going into like a 7 or 8 Rex here, and he's gonna try to set up a position, continue rallying there, make sure you keep it alive, eventually get 2-2, and hopefully accidentally win the game. But decent run by here. We'll take out a couple of these Marines. There's just so many Banes. There's so many Banes, there's a lot of Queens still. This base doesn't even really need to be defended, but it can be defended. This is an interesting flank here. It's not really synchronized very well with the main attack. It doesn't even really finish the flanking motion either. Good control here out of ByuN, who's getting more done than I think he should have, but at the end of the day, there's still so many Banelings. GG gets called, soO wins game number 1 in 9 minutes and 43 seconds. And that is often one of the problems we see when players go for that type of Hellbat attack. It's just, it really is extremely common. It wins, or it basically straight up loses. It feels like a pressure build, but because you have a 3rd, right? You're building a 3rd behind it. Like, oh, look at me. I'm macroing, I have SCV. Well, you don't have a lot of SCVs, but, you know, potentially you have some SCVs. In reality, it is a Hellbat all-in. It is... You need to deal a lot of damage to justify it. And dealing a lot of damage is difficult against all these Zergs that build an infinite amount of Queens. Now, we are Seeing ByuN here kind of switching the tempo up a little bit. Opting for a proxy 2-Rex. Nice positioning on those barracks as well. Look at that. There's a massive area here where a drone could never hit. So you're gonna finish. You're gonna finish those 2 barracks. That's going to be a fact. soO is going to scout it rather fast. And it's going to send out 3 drones. I don't think you want to get that gas first, buddy. I don't think you want to. I think we want to get that pool immediately. Yeah, there we go. Very good call out of soO. And these 3 drones, I mean, this is just not going to work with these 3 drones, is it? The one nice thing about these 3 drones is that it allows you to perhaps deal some damage against these SCVs already. And the bunkers will be difficult to get up. That is the one thing that I will say where, hey, like that could actually be a big deal. We could see this having some impact. There we go. SCVs already being attacked by these 3 drones. Taking a solid 20 damage already. 1 drone's going to be set on follow. I mean, getting these bunkers up is not going to be easy at all. There's 1 Marine out right now. These SCVs need to start repairing one another. We're at 155, 156. 5 drones being pulled off the line. ByuN moving into this very aggressively right now. Here comes the 2nd Marine. First bunker going down. 6 links are on the way. 2 queens. Queens take what? 36 seconds? Yep. Need to wait 20-ish more seconds for that. By that time, this bunker is just going to straight up finish. I think we need to get more drones down here if this hold is going to be successful. SCV being attacked. Will not die. Here come the links once more. Marines backed into a corner, but a corner close to a bunker. So I think they would be capable of surviving for free there. SCV's alive. Drones caught on the wrong side of the fence here. And might be capable of picking up some Marine reinforcements. soO not paying attention. This ByuN Marine is going to be capable of escaping towards the bunkers. 3rd bunker on the way at this point as well. Here comes the drone pool from 2 sides. Nice little surround. Marine is blocking some of the service area from that bottom side. There's no repair whatsoever on this bunker, but both of the new bunkers are going to finish up as well. This is what I believe, and that means that these Marines will be capable of entering a completely fresh bunker. There's an SCV in there, which means that he can finish this bunker up. Good target fire there out of soO. 12 drones have gone down. 2 SCVs have fallen. And I think no matter which way you look at it, this was fantastic for ByuN. Up 12 workers, already has a reactor on that factory behind this. Knows that there's not going to be a lot of gas in the bank for soO. Roaches are not much of an issue. CC is being built still on the high ground, just for a safety measure, but this game is honestly completely over right now. Even a Helmet all-in couldn't lose this game anymore, although I hope that ByuN doesn't try that, because I'm not a huge fan of how the Helmets have been performing so far in this series. It's just going to be really difficult for soO to get back into this. I mean, he can drone up and he can try his best and he can have a good time without any gas mining, but I don't know, I'm just not really feeling it, honestly. We have the 4 Marine move forward. Queen is going to stay alive. No, it isn't. It's going to die instead. Both of these queens die, and with those queens, soO decides to tap out. Game number 2. And the fun thing there is in a game like that, you kind of wonder, like, what is the perfect response to a scouted 2-Rex? Because it's really difficult if you scout it this late, where you can't delay the barracks anymore. It feels like pulling those 3 drones could potentially be good, but at the same time it's costing you quite a bit of minerals. I mean, the SCVs went to a safe spot. One of these SCVs was fairly damaged, but they repaired each other before they go back in. I wonder if it might just be better to leave the mining for a bit longer and then just pull your 12, 13 drones the moment the bunker goes up. Because the most important moment in that entire rush, to me, as a, you know, as an observer, as a Protoss player that has no real input on this matchup, to me it feels like that the most important moment is when the bunker goes up. So that is the one thing you really want to deny. The moment the bunker goes up, all of these Marines all of a sudden have 400 HP. You're not damaging Marines anymore, you're attacking a bunker. You're not killing anything, that bunker can be repaired as well. It's just an awful situation all around. I don't like it at all. Oh, this is cool. CC first here, out of ByuN. It's a move he loves to go for. I just follow this up with the double barracks that he's been playing so much. Should really keep an eye on that. Oh yeah, it's gonna be the double barracks for sure. Oh, I love this build. This is CC first into double barracks, Marine into Tech Lab reactor. I think he builds the reactor first actually. So like Marine reactor into Tech Lab. It's a beautiful build, lots of units coming out. Really quick third CC with it as well. And whenever I see ByuN play against Zerg, which I see him play a fair amount, as he's my teammate, watch him play a lot of TVZs, Zergs always try to punish it. You know, try to roach rush him every now and again. But he seems to have these instincts that tell him when to go for a bunker, when not to go for a bunker. It might just be map dependent, might just be player dependent, might be which game of the series it is dependent. There's a lot of factors that can influence when he builds those bunkers. But yeah, here we go. Reactor being thrown down, Tech Lab as a follow-up immediately, all of one Marine. Second depot coming in as well. And we of course have this orbital command that right now is being morphed in from that CC first. Really cool build. This build originally, I believe, taken from Spirit, the European Terran player. Just hits like a brick. It's a beautiful build. See what soO is going to be doing here. The map is Stargazers. And Stargazers, initially when it came out, a lot of Zergs said, hey, this is a very difficult map. I think we're going to be struggling against Terran a lot on this map. And the Zergs were actually right. They are struggling a lot against Terran on this map. It's just a very difficult map. Yeah, they made an analysis, and that analysis most likely was correct. It's a map where it's difficult to break Terrans on due to the map layout. I mean, this base is practically impossible to kill. This base is difficult to kill. This base is impossible to even attack due to the mineral patches that are blocking it. And then you pretty much have a complete split map scenario already. If it weren't for the bottom base and then the gold. So Zergs often try rushing into the gold with fast mutas. We'll see things like 2-base muta is not uncommon on this map. 3-base muta is not uncommon on this map. 4-base muta is just 3-base muta with a 4th added. So that's also not too uncommon. Basically anything that has muta in it is kind of normal here. Mutas are really the only thing that allows the Zerg to very quickly take this gold, to start mining it out, throw a lot of units at the opponent. Sometimes mutas even allow these patches to be mined. The moment these patches mine out and the secret gateway into the Terran base gets opened, that is a very, very good moment for Zerg. And at that point I think the map actually turns favorable for Zerg. But until these mineral patches are gone, the map is quite favorable for Terran indeed. Now we have a Spire on the way, and this is the type of stuff that ByuN does fairly often, where he'll just move out on the map, and as a defending player you're not entirely sure what's going on here. It's like, hey, wait a second, what is this an all-in? Is this real? And you start doubting yourself. Maybe you build too many units, maybe you build too little. Sometimes it's real, sometimes it's fake. Maybe he just wants to kill an Overlord. Oh, maybe he just wants to kill some creep tumors. We're gonna see a stim here. 1 queen gets taken out. 2 creep tumors also get taken out. First 2 medevacts are popping out in a couple of seconds. This feels a lot like a 2-base all-in, by the way, may I just say. May I just say that this feels a lot like a 2-base all-in. Yeah, there we go. 3 barracks pre-3rd CC already. This is not the quick 3rd CC that I was thinking and talking about. This is a very dedicated push. And I'm kind of surprised to see ByuN play this on a map like this, where it feels like he's solid in the late game. He understands what to do in the late game. And this is a map that's good for the late game. But instead, 2-base all-in time it is. And we'll start fighting soO off. Quick scan coming out. All of these creep tumors are dying right now. Combat shield finishing up in 9 seconds from now. Actually, this might just win the game, won't it? And there's nothing left. 7 mutas are on the way, but there's no drones there. Oh my god, you can't be serious. Like, what? This isn't usually how games are supposed to end. At all. I mean, this was not a revolutionary build. It was a little bit different, but... yeah, no, this... what? It was technically a 2-on-1 with a slightly earlier push with Stim. He just did a 2-on-1 and attack with Stim before. Like, I don't think this is supposed to kill at all. If ByuN is watching this at home, it's like, what the heck? This ain't quite what I signed up for, but I'm okay with it. Like, what? It's like taking a survey, you know? One of these surveys where they say that you can win like a coupon or something. You know, you participate in our survey and you get a 15% discount coupon. You do the survey and then at the end your mortgage is paid off. You're like, what? That's nice. I didn't expect that, but I'll sign up for it. You know, that. Start looking around, make sure that no one noticed. Hello, guys. I hope I'm not doing anything illegal here, but I'm making no more mortgage payments. This is insane. I don't think this is... You just killed a guy with 16 Marines. I don't even think the control was that extraordinary. Like, ooh. That definitely wasn't that extraordinary. One Muta's gonna get taken out for free there. Well, for free. Decent chunk of damage here on that medevac. Some damage as well on that tank. Love the movement here with the Marines, as this base is going to get taken out as well. There's no real way for soO to try and defend that. It's definitely going to need to wait for centrifugal hoops. The funny thing here... this medevac. Holy crap. Oh. That medevac still has a lot to heal for. Yeah. 50 energy. Oh, don't lose it. Don't lose it. Don't lose it! I almost feel like he's using it as like a trap, you know? It's like saying, hey... You want to go for the medevac? Only has 3 HP, buddy. You sure you don't want to go in there? This is a medevac with 3 HP. You sure you don't want to take a quick peek, you know? And then boom. Takes a peek. You stab his eyes out. Boom. No more mutas. You're gone. I'm surprised we're seeing so many mutas being constructed against the 2-base all-in. Almost feels like pure baneling would be the answer. I also would love to see these mutas just kind of come from behind and try and take out some of these reinforcements. Ooh, this is very good. This has some potential. Ooh. I loved how soO tried to seize that opportunity. Still has some potential here. There's a lot of... Nah, there's 17 Marines. It's not enough against 63 Marines, is it? Not if there's also 4 tanks with it. 3 medevacs. Upgrades. Superior as well here. Don't forget about that. It's +1 against 0-0. Here we go. Target fire on those Banes is not good, actually. It's really not that good. Medevac's going to get taken out with a couple of these Marines in it, but without any Banelings left over, I mean, this is just game. This is absolutely game. Nothing that soO can do right now. Was it a Queen and a Baneling that's getting sniped there? Yeah. I mean, this is just completely over. Double, triple stimming. Doesn't even matter. GG. ByuN takes game number 3 and puts himself on match point here in this best of 5. And that was the type of illegal plays we just saw out of ByuN that... you know, they're illegal for a reason. You see him move across the map with like 14 Marines, pre-stim, then stim finishes as he reaches the other side. It's like, well, ByuN, that's a little bit scary. That's a little bit crazy as well, ByuN. You sure that's allowed? You sure the police won't arrest you if you do that too many times? ByuN's like, nah, I can do this. Sure, I'll die against the Ling Flood. Yeah, Ling Roach would be difficult. Yeah, Ling Bane would be hard to hold. But if my opponent is playing 2-base Muta, look at what I do, Kevin. So, that's indeed very impressive. And I guess well, I was gonna say the thing with soO is that he doesn't really cheese, but that's not true. He just doesn't cheese in the early game. You know, he has periods where he's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more out there, I want to say. And we see another CC first coming out. That makes sense against soO, because soO is a gentleman. Okay, he is someone that in the first 3 minutes is perfectly fine. He doesn't do no garbage in the first 3 minutes. You know, he plays StarCraft the same way that you know, he eats. Okay, so the first 3 minutes, the first course, the starter, he'll just eat it nicely, you know, and then knife and fork, he'll cut it up, eat it. He'll use the cloth napkin. He's the only person in the entire world that knows what to do with the cloth napkin. Some people put it on their lap, some tuck it into their shirt. Some people throw it at the waiter in an attempt to get their attention because they haven't refilled their glasses in the past 35 minutes. No, soO knows what to do with it, but he won't reveal the secret. He's eating nicely, gently. The main course comes out. He drops the knife, starts using his fork. Just picking out the things that he likes, you know? No vegetables, just the potatoes. He likes potatoes a lot. Potatoes, maybe some roaches. Bam! Loves those things. Cheeky mid-game all-in, you know, or like 5 or 6 minute roach rush. That's the type of stuff he likes to do. Then we get to the dessert, and that's where he gets straight out sloppy. Doesn't use a spoon. No, he has this beautiful tiramisu in front of him. Doesn't use a spoon, just straight up digs in with his hands. And he licks the plate clean. Okay? And once it's all done, there's a tiny burp there at the end, you know? soO wants you to know that he ate well, okay? He wants you to know. And that's exactly how he plays StarCraft 2 as well. Get straight out sloppy there in the mid to late game. Aggression, high-paced gaming. Not necessarily the beautiful, elegant, perfect late game, you know, that you think of when you see Serral play. Like, oh, the movement is so good and the unit composition so well crafted. No, soO is pure aggression. Pure aggression. On a scale from 0 to 7, I'd give him a 6 on aggression. And you know what was once said about the number 6? It is a perfect number, as it is equal to the sum of its dividers. 3, 2, and 1. And every time I think of the first perfect number that we have, 6, I think of a quote that once was said about it. A person, whose name I now forgot, Augustine, like a Roman emperor, or maybe a saint, or maybe both. He once said, 6 is not a perfect number, because God made the world in 6 days. But God made the world in 6 days, because 6 is a perfect number. And I weep every time I hear that. Beautiful. Poetry to my ears, my friends. Just like soO's aggression is poetry to my eyes. I look at that and I think, wow. I want to be like that. I really want to be like that. ByuN, on the other hand, is, well, I think it's just opening with the exact same build order here, isn't he? What's this going to be? Just a cheeky, yeah, cheeky 2 medevac. You have that marine push out. It's going to be 18-ish marines. Ooh, can't count this. 12, 3, that's 15. Add number 16 in there as well. That's a lot of marines. Gonna follow this up with a tank. That's a tank. And then we see the classic. This is a really nice move, by the way. In this build, like a beautiful optimization. Look what happens with this starport here. You start a tank, you don't have any gas, you swap the barracks onto the reactor, and you move that starport away. And it fits so darn perfectly. It fits so ridiculously well, it almost hurts my brain how good this build order, how optimized this build order is. I'm a fan of optimized build orders, my friends. If you haven't noticed. The problem is that this time around, soO is not playing 2-base Spire. Okay, he's playing something different. He has queens. Look at this. Look at this. This is not going to do anything. Last game he killed a hatchery. He killed 4 or 5 drones. He killed 2 queens. Maybe 3 queens. This time around, what's he going to get? He's going to get a creep tumor. He tries to go for a queen. Doesn't get it. Loses 3 marines. Kills 4 tumors and a ling. 4 tumors are being rebuilt immediately. There's more creep now than there was when ByuN initially showed up. I mean, this is... I don't want to call game before it is game. But, my friends, it looks like game. It smells like game. And it moves like game. So yes, I think this is game. Ooh, these 2 overlords are actually going to end up dying. That's kind of sloppy here out of soO. Absolutely not necessary. Could have had 1 overlord in the far back of this pillar, but why 2? And why right now? You already know what your opponent is doing. You have scouts on the other side of the map. The only thing that matters at this point is whether there is a 3rd base or not. If there is a 3rd base, you need to add drones. If there's not a 3rd base, you need to add links and banes and queens. It's really as simple as that. This is no rocket science. This is no, what was it called? Heart surgery? What do they usually say? Brain surgery. This is no rocket science. This is no brain surgery. I don't think it's brain surgery. Well, keep it in mind. This is a good engagement. Honestly, I think that he should just send it immediately here. Yes, Carapace isn't done yet, but look at the situation. You're working with what? 11 queens, 84 links, 17 banes. There's a lot of units at home. You definitely want to fight before the reinforcements arrive. Ooh, 2 queens dying for free right now. Where go the remains? Oh, can't even zoom that far. I think it's a mistake here to wait for the Carapace upgrade. I really do believe so. Not that many new units got added here for soO. A lot of transfuses are being expanded to try and save this hatchery. And 2 queens have died for free already. This was an incorrect call. Ground Parabase is going to finish up right now, but the reinforcements arrive at exactly the same time. There is an SCV here, perhaps for a bunker. It's not going to be in time to construct a bunker. Tanks in the back will help out. A lot of Marines are actually going to get saved as well. This is still Is it a winning fight, actually? I'm not so sure. I was gonna say this is still a winning fight, but if you're on such low eco, you actually need to kind of convincingly win the fights. You need to reset that tank count, but the tank count did not get reset. This base, I think, is going to fall. Wouldn't even mind if it gets given up. We already have an alternative fort base on the way. And yes, it's in an inferior position, but it is something new. Maybe it's going to be good. All of these mainstream bases being taken out right now. We have another attack on the mainstream base here in the main base. This is an interesting position. I don't really like how these liberators are set up at all. But these marines are tucked in real nice. And there's some good target fire on these bases. Bases are going to kill a lot of the marines. The main base at the same time, we see a major pickup here. More marines being sent in, liberators being sieged up as well. Marines try to drop into the main once more, but it's not quite going to help out. This is off creep, which means that no transfuses are available on these queens. That's actually going to help so much here for this liberator. Who's dealing way more damage than he ever should have. I think he ended up killing like, what, 5 queens or something insane. And honestly, yes, it looked bad for ByuN, but it looked even worse for soO. soO still only on 54 workers, now decides to build 8 drones? What an insane misread here out of soO. Not understanding his position whatsoever. He needs banelings, he needs lings, he needs units. He's building more and more drones. He's going up to 68 right now. Yes, he's adding more queens, but he needs more banes. That's the one thing he needs. Carapace level 2 definitely would have given him a good position to fight from, but right now, there's not even a single bane in this arm. Okay, there's 2 banes here. They are getting targeted down before the fight even happens. Big stim, 1-1 upgrades against 1-1. Bane is in the far back. Not sure why soO decided to engage into this without the banes available there. He's just straight up going to lose here right now. 2 tanks, yeah, are not going to get touched at all, and neither are these marines. GG gets called, ByuN wins the series, and he wins game number 4. That is going to be it for this game, for this series, for this pretty fast-paced series. I don't think we had a single game go longer than 10 minutes here, as soO gets kicked out of the restaurant for eating in too wild a manner. And ByuN, the calm waiter, you know, he gets his turn here. That is going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye-bye.